The charges have now been filed in a strange early Christmas morning incident near FIINLEY, North Dakota, that ended with the parents arrested and two children suffering minor frostbite at 4 a.m. According to court documents, 26-year-old Tyler Littleghost has been charged with ingesting meth, child neglect, endangerment of a child, and arson. Her alleged partner, Seth's son, no booking photo taken, has been charged with ingesting meth, child neglect, and endangerment of a child. At 4 a.m. on Christmas Day, authorities were dispatched for a vehicle fire. They also found a window broken out at the Hefty Seed Company and two separate fires at an abandoned farmstead. Now, here's the entire story of what happened according to the criminal complaint with the names of the officers deleted. Quote, on Christmas at 4 a.m., a deputy with Steele County Sheriff's Office received a call from dispatch regarding a vehicle on fire and two kids out in the cold. While responding, an additional phone call from an alarm company at the Hefty Seed plant was taken approximately 5 miles east of FIINLEY, which is in the same area as the vehicle on fire. The deputy received information from dispatch regarding the father of two children, Seth's son. He had not been seen in 4 hours and had left the scene to get help. His address is in FIINLEY. The deputy stopped at that address to confirm whether he had made it home or not prior to responding to the scene. The deputy talked with Seth's father and was able to confirm that Seth had not made it home. The deputy then responded to the scene at the Hefty Seed plant. Upon arriving at the Hefty Seed plant, the deputy found the mother of the two children, Tyler Littleghost. Tyler had allegedly broken a window and gained entry to the office space of the Hefty Seed plant so she could stay warm and get help. Tyler found a phone charger for her phone and was able to call her sister and then called 911 for help. After making contact with Tyler, the deputy asked where were her two children and the burning vehicle were located. And she told me that her two kids and the burning vehicle were located on a township road, approximately 1.5 miles north of the Hefty Seed plant on the north side of Highway 200. Tyler and the deputy, then went to the scene of the fire to find the children. Upon arriving at the scene, the father, Seth, was with the two children in the middle of the road. The deputy gave the 2-year-old boy to Tyler and Seth and had the 1-year-old and put all 4 of them in the squad car to keep them warm. Then FIINLEY Fire and West Trail Ambulance were dispatched to the scene. When FIINLEY Fire arrived on the scene, they took the two children to their emergency response vehicle for assessment and to keep them warm. A FIINLEY Fire emergency response vehicle then met with West Trail Ambulance at the intersection of Township Road and Highway 200. West Trail Ambulance then took the children to Sanford and Mayville for evaluation and treatment. The deputy kept the two parents in the squad car to stay warm while he conducted an investigation. While conducting the investigation, there was a vehicle that was on fire in the middle of the township road that passes through an old abandoned farmstead, where a barn and steel building were also on fire. Upon investigating further, FIINLEY Fire Department noticed that the contents of the steel building and contents of the old barn had been lit on fire. The second floor of the barn was lit on fire and was still smoldering when FIINLEY Fire arrived to extinguish it. The deputy then went to question the two parents about the events that transpired. Seth and Tyler told the deputy that they had went out driving at approximately 10 p.m. that night with the two children and gotten the car stuck on the township road that does not get maintained in the winter. They attempted to get the vehicle unstuck, which led to the vehicle running out of gas. The father, Seth, started walking approximately 5 miles to neighboring farmsteads to find help and was gone for approximately 4 hours. To try and keep herself and her two children warm, Tyler lit the contents of the vehicle, the barn, and the steel building on fire. Once she ran out of burning materials, she put the two kids in a tote and walked to the Hefty Seed plant to try and find help. leaving the two juveniles alone at the scene next to the burning vehicle. When the deputy asked Tyler why she did not take the two children with her to the Hefty seed plant, she told me that she was unable to carry them as they were too heavy, so she left them at the scene. When I asked the two of them if they had been using any drugs or alcohol, Seth informed me that he had used meth the day prior, but Tyler would not confess to using anything. Seth's father and his girlfriend arrived on the scene, and when I asked them if Seth or Tyler had been using any drugs or alcohol that day, the father's girlfriend informed the deputy that Tyler had been using meth the prior day in the morning. I had then received a phone call from a doctor at Sanford and Mayville who was requesting information about the scene so that she could better treat the children. She informed me that the 2-year-old seemed to be fine, but the 1-year-old was suffering from frostbite on his feet. I then talked with a social worker from Trail County Social Services that was at the hospital and relayed information to her. She then took the children into protective custody until the situation could be resolved. After the scene was taken care of, the deputy arrested the two parents and took them to Sanford and Fargo to be medically cleared and treated for any sustained injuries. Upon arriving at Sanford and Fargo, the two of them were treated for their injuries. The father, Seth, was treated for frostbite on his feet, and the mother, Tyler, was treated for burns on her hands. Seth was admitted to the hospital for his injuries. The deputy then cited and released him on a promise to appear in court on February 2nd. The mother, Tyler, was medically cleared after treatment, and she was taken to the Cass County Jail for booking and given a court date of February 2nd. I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNewZ.TV.